In the vast, shadowed corridors of deep time, 8 distinct species of humans once roamed this earth, each a reflection of ourselves, molded by the relentless forces of evolution, sharpened by survival, and guided by instincts we barely understand today. They hunted, built, dreamed, and vanished. Now, only we remain. Homo sapiens, the last chapter still being written. But as we stand atop the bones of our forgotten kin, a haunting question stirs. Are we truly worthy of their ancient legacy? Around 2.4 million years ago, in the shifting landscapes of East Africa, a figure stepped out from the shadows of evolution, Homo habilis, the handyman. He was not merely a creature of instinct, but a thinker, a doer, a quiet spark in the dark. Named for his ability to craft simple stone tools, he marked a profound turning point in the human story. His flakes and scrapers were humble, yet they revealed something extraordinary: intention, foresight, adaptation. With a brain noticeably larger than his Australopithecine ancestors and hands built for precision, Homo habilis embodied the birth of ingenuity. He wasn't just surviving the wild, he was shaping it. In his presence, the first ember of human consciousness began to glow. Following in the footsteps of Homo habilis came a bold traveler, Homo erectus, the first true explorer of the human story. Emerging nearly 2 million years ago, he journeyed far beyond Africa, reaching the shores of Asia and the edges of the known world. He stood tall, with a body built for endurance, and eyes that held the flicker of something deeply familiar. Homo erectus tamed fire, shaped more advanced tools, and perhaps even formed early social bonds. His legacy is not marked by conquest, but by persistence. Generation after generation adapting, surviving, evolving. He was the long-distance runner of human evolution, carrying the torch forward when the world was still wild. In the icy caves and dense forests of Europe and Western Asia, Homo neanderthalensis carved out a world of resilience and quiet mastery. Stocky, broad-chested, and immensely strong, the Neanderthal wasn't just built for survival. He thrived for over 300,000 years in climates few could endure. With stone-tipped spears, he brought down mammoths. With steady hands, he shaped ornaments from bone and shell. He buried his dead with care, and perhaps with meaning, a sign of thought deeper than instinct. Some believe he even played music on flutes carved from animal bone. Far from the outdated image of a brutish caveman, the Neanderthal was intelligent, emotional, and social, deeply human in ways that still echo within us. Modern DNA reveals that his blood runs in ours. He is not some forgotten fossil. He is our ancient kin. For most of history, the Denisovans were invisible, a silent branch of our human family tree, hidden in time and stone. They left behind almost nothing we could see, just a single finger bone, a few teeth, and a fragment of skull, all uncovered in a remote Siberian cave. Yet their genetic legacy speaks louder than their fossils ever could. Traces of Denisovan DNA still live on, in Melanesians, in Tibetans, and across Southeast Asia. One of their remarkable gifts, the ability to survive at high altitudes like the thin air peaks of the Himalayas. They were tough, adaptive, and far more widespread than once believed. Though their faces remain a mystery, their presence endures, not in museums, but in the cells of millions alive today. They walk with us, unseen but ever present, not forgotten, only waiting to be understood. On the remote Indonesian island of Flores, Long before modern humans arrived, a tiny species of human carved out a remarkable life. Homo floresiensis stood just over 3 feet tall, with a brain no larger than a grapefruit. And yet, he was no primitive simpleton. He crafted stone tools with purpose. He hunted pygmy elephants. He adapted to island isolation for tens of thousands of years. Nicknamed the Hobbit for his size, Floresiensis is not a curiosity. He is a testament to evolution's brilliance. His small stature wasn't a flaw. It was a finely tuned strategy for survival in a limited ecosystem. He challenges our assumptions that bigger means smarter or stronger means better. In his story, we find a deeper truth. That intelligence lies not in brain size, but in the ability to endure, to adapt, and to thrive when the world demands something different. In the pitch-black depths of a South African cave, untouched for hundreds of thousands of years, Homo naledi lay in eternal stillness. Discovered only in 2013, this ancient human stunned the world. Not because of what he lacked, but because of what he may have understood. His brain was small, barely a third the size of ours, yet his hands were built for tool use, his feet for walking upright, and his skull a mosaic of both primitive and modern traits. But the greatest mystery was this: he may have deliberately placed his dead within the cave's chambers, not by accident, not by chance, but with intention, perhaps even with meaning. If true, it suggests that symbolic thought, once believed to belong only to Homo sapiens, stirred within this small-brained ancestor. Homo naledi compels us to reconsider the boundaries of humanity. Is it intelligence, ritual, compassion, or something deeper, a quiet spark in the darkness waiting to be seen? In 2019, deep within Calao Cave on the island of Luzon in the Philippines, scientists unearthed a new chapter in our human story. Homo luzonensis. Small in stature yet rich in evolutionary complexity, this little-known human lived over 50,000 years ago, quietly thriving in island isolation. His anatomy was a mosaic, curved toes and fingers like ancient species, yet teeth and traits more modern in design. It was an unexpected blend, a reminder that human evolution was never a straight line. Like Homo floresiensis, luzonensis had adapted not through strength or size, but through flexibility, endurance, and ingenuity. These island species teach us that nature doesn't always favor the biggest or the brightest. Sometimes it favors the most adaptable. Even as Homo sapiens were spreading across the globe, nature was still experimenting, still asking, what else could a human be? And then there was us, Homo sapiens, the storytellers, the city builders, the stargazers. We emerged from the plains of Africa around 300,000 years ago, carrying within us the fire of imagination and the seeds of civilization. We painted on cave walls, sailed across oceans, split the atom, and reached for the moon. Our triumphs are undeniable, monuments to our creativity and drive. But so are our failures: genocide, ecocide, inequality. For all our genius, we remain fragile creatures, walking the thin line between glory and ruin. Unlike our extinct cousins, we did not inherit the earth through strength alone. We outlasted them, absorbed them, and sometimes replaced them. But that doesn't make us better, only more fortunate. Each extinct species is not just a footnote in prehistory. They are chapters in an unfinished book whose final pages are still being written by us. They lived, they struggled, they adapted, and then, one by one, they vanished. Not in failure, not in silence, but in sacrifice. Their disappearance was not in vain, for they laid the foundations upon which we now stand. In our cells, fragments of their DNA whisper reminders of ancient kinship. In our instincts, we still carry echoes of their fears, their triumphs, their battles for fire, shelter, and survival. In our souls, whether we acknowledge it or not, they live on, as memory, as mirror, as warning. So, what do we owe them? We owe them memory, to speak their names aloud. Hobbits, who lit the first spark of cognition. Erectus, who walked farther than any before. Neanderthalensis, who sang, carved, and mourned. Denisova, whose genetic footprints remain in high mountain air. Floresiensis, who thrived in smallness and solitude. Naledi, who puzzled even our best minds. Luzonensis, who taught us that human possibility blooms in the most unexpected places. We owe them humility, the wisdom to recognize that we are not the apex of evolution, but one branch among many. A single climate shift, a single pathogen, a single moment of miscalculation, and we too could become echoes. Their extinction is not distant tragedy. It is a mirror held up to our future. We owe them wisdom, not the kind earned in comfort, but the hard-won truth carved from stone and fire. To use our unmatched intelligence not to conquer the earth, but to care for it. To build not only taller, faster, louder, but more wisely. To understand that progress without preservation is just another path to ruin. And above all, we owe them honor. Not in monuments or museums, but in how we live, in how we remember, and in how we choose to walk this earth. Aware that we tread on bones, and that every step forward should carry their memory. Let their silence not be forgotten. Let their legacy not be wasted. Let Homo sapiens prove, at last, that we were worthy to be the ones who remained. If this journey through time moved something within you, if you felt the breath of our ancestors whisper across your shoulder, then subscribe to Prehistoric Shadows. This is not just a history lesson, it is a mirror. And you, modern human, must ask yourself, are we truly worthy of their legacy?